Hello everybody and welcome back to my kitchen. My name is Lori. I'm also known as the Frugal Mom, and I am happy to have you with me. If you are not familiar with my content, I focus on frugal living, and that includes lots of frugal cooking, food pantry blessings, thrifting, homemaking, frugal decorating, all things being a mom. I have two neurodivergent kids and they're awesome. Coping with grace with chronic illnesses, and all together living an abundant lifestyle on a low income. So if that's something that you're interested in, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'd love to have you as part of our community. So you hear my cat Obi talking, and if he's still in the room later, I will show you him. Right, buddy? He's ready for dinner and he smells the onions and the spinach sauteing. So what I'm going to be making today is some egg bites. They're very easy to make. In an earlier video that I made yesterday, I think I told you that I had some ingredients that have been in my fridge that I haven't gotten to use because I really haven't been feeling great the past couple weeks. Well, I don't want to let anything go to waste, so it's time to use up those ingredients. And egg bites are an easy thing to make. You just blend them together in your blender or in your food processor. You can even whisk them together if you have that much arm strength. And it's a good way to use up this wonderful cottage cheese that I have here. This is 2% low-fat cottage cheese. It's the Good Culture brand. I got this from the food pantry. It's still in date, and this is a good brand, and I certainly don't want to let this go to waste. You can use whatever you happen to have on hand. Any percentage, any brand is fine. And we're going to use that up. I also have an abundance of sliced deli ham. So I'm going to make two different kinds. This kind is going to be kind of like a spinach Florentine. So I'm going to use a couple slices of these. You kind of play this by ear, right? I'm going to cube up some of my Swiss cheese. I have 2 packages of this currently, and I don't want it to go moldy on me. So I'm going to use that. And then in my pan, let's see if you can see it, I have a half a 10-ounce bag of some frozen spinach, and I have a medium onion that I chopped up, and I have sauteed this, put a pinch of salt and a little bit of garlic powder in there to give it a little bit more oomph. And we're going to use 6 Lorries, and you're going to season it to your preference. So with these, it's the sky is the limit, as with so much of cooking, and you're going to use your heart. If you like garlic powder in there, onion powder, if you like basil, Italian seasoning, go for it. Just don't overdo it. And you can use silicone muffin pans, or you can just use traditional ones. I'm going to use these because this is what I have, and we're just going to make sure that we grease these either with some melted butter or some cooking spray. It could be any cooking spray. If you don't have butter or cooking spray and you have oil, feel free to liberally brush each one of these because you don't want them to stick. And I'm going to let my cooked ingredients, I'm going to let them cool because, you know, I don't want them to curdle the eggs when I drop it in. We're going to do the egg mixture first, and I'll show you how. And then once you pour them into the muffin tins, then you're going to put your toppings on, and you're going to bake them in a 350 oven for about 30 minutes. And of course I will check after 25 minutes because I know that my oven runs a little hot. So I'm going to give this a couple minutes. I'm going to get together all my other ingredients, and I'll be back to show you. Obi, let's switch the camera. Say hi, buddy. Hi, Daisy. Hi, Mittens. You know why they're here, guys? Because it's almost dinner time and they smell everything cooking. I just thought I'd show you my babies. Okay, guys, so what you see here in my food processor is 6 large eggs, 1 cup of cottage cheese. I put a sprinkle of garlic powder in there, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and about 10 cracks of fresh pepper, and that is it. And we're just going to pulse this until it's well combined. Now the reason why this doesn't matter what kind of cottage cheese you use is because you're going to use either a blender or a food processor Now, if you want to use just a whisk and use good old arm power, I would use the smallest curd that you can get just so you don't have big chunks of cottage cheese in there. So I'm going to pulse it and we'll see. Now, don't mind everything that I have here. I've got my son's meds. You know, I've got onions. This is my coffee maker behind it, and I am going to use that frying pan for something else. You know, it's a little cluttered right now, but that's okay because this is real life, right? So let's go ahead and pulse it. Okay, let me pause and make sure my top is on. Okay, I just didn't have my top clicker on. Just going to pulse this until all the big chunks of cottage cheese are dissolved, and that's just going to be a few minutes, not even a few minutes actually, it'll probably be 30 more seconds, and then I'll be back when it's done. So that's what our egg mixture looks like when it's completely blended. You see it's foamy, there's no cottage cheese chunks in there, you can't even see the pepper really. So that's all ready to go. I'll show it to you from the sides. You only see a little bit of that cottage cheese on the top, but not where it's all blended. Okay, so I have taken the liberty of greasing my muffin tins with some butter, and I filled up most of them. I did do these in 2 separate batches. You don't have to, you could do them in 1 batch. And that's okay if you do it all together in 1 batch. And you're going to fill them up about this much. Remember that they are going to be very puffy. Oops. That's okay. Accidents happen, right? I'm just going to kind of level them out because I want them to be nice and big and puffy and filling. I'm going to eat 2 of these at a time. If I was using egg whites, you could have 3. These are very high protein because of that wonderful cottage cheese. The cottage cheese on the label said that it was 15 grams per serving. So I'll have to try to figure out what that will equal to with the egg bites, with the eggs, and the cheese, and the ham, and all that good stuff. I'm going to wipe off this excess so I don't have to scrub all these little burnt on egg bits. But that's basically it. I'm going to add on my spinach and onion mixture, a little bit of ham in each one, and a little bit of that yummy Swiss cheese, and then I'll show you. So this is what I had left from my spinach and onion mixture. This is just frozen spinach that I used. It's chopped frozen spinach. I had about a half a package left, and like I said, I used a medium onion. I didn't put any oil in here at all. I just let the water from the frozen spinach do its thing, and that's all. Okay, so here are our egg bites with the spinach and onion in them. The chopped up ham, I did about, let's see, probably about 4 ounces of ham. So that would be about 1/4 pound, and I just chopped it up pretty finely. And this is about 6 slices of the Swiss cheese, and I just laid it all on top. It's gonna sink into the egg bites. Now I'm gonna put them in the 350-degree oven, and I'm gonna check them after 20-25 minutes. So there's our spinach Florentine egg bites right out of the oven. It's overspilled a little bit, but that's no big deal. I'm gonna let them cool, and then I'm gonna pop them out, and I'll show you what they look like when they're out of the muffin tin. And then in my frying pan, I took the liberty of sauteing some red peppers. I had this red pepper in the fridge. It was a little bit past its prime, starting to wrinkle, so I decided I would dice it up, or chop it up rather, with an onion, and we would use it in another kind of egg bite. So it's going to be the same formulation: 6 eggs, 1 cup of cottage cheese, 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I like a little bit of garlic powder in mine, and I'm going to put those into our grease tin, muffin tin that is, and I'm going to put some of this over, and I'm going to use a little bit of Colby Jack cheese on top. So here is our one spinach Florentine egg bite, or egg muffin if you want to call it that. I already had one. They are delicious. I am going to have this one. I'm also making some sausages to go along with them. I might freeze half of them, but honestly 24 of these will go in a week's time, or possibly before, because Matthew will probably eat 3 of them at a time, and my sister might too. I like to eat 2 of them with 2 links of sausage and 2 pieces of low carb toast, maybe a little fruit, we'll see. But these are just great for on the go. You know, you don't even need to use a fork. You can just pick it up and go. Put them in a bag. You can eat them cold if you like them that way. But I will show you what the other ones look like when they come out of the oven in a few minutes. So here are our other egg bites. They're green, not green peppers. They're red peppers, silly me. I can tell the difference between green and red. So they're red peppers, onion. Half of them on this side of the pan have mozzarella on them because I ran out of my Colby Jack. And then these have Colby Jack on them. So I'm going to let them cool, and then I'll let you see what one looks like. Here are our dozen mixed cheese, onion and red pepper, egg muffin bites. I know I keep changing the name of them. I guess they're called egg muffin bites. The small ones that I have made in my Instapot, those are called egg bites. But here they are nonetheless. And I had 2 of the spinach Florentine ones. So I am pretty full. So I'm going to let these cool, and I'm going to put them into this little glass container, cover them up, put them in the fridge. They'll keep for about a week in the fridge, nice and fresh. They'll keep for about 3 months in your freezer. You can wrap them in 2s or 3s, whatever serving size, or you can just put them in a big Ziploc bag and grab them out as you need them. Easy, quick breakfast for on the run. I also made, as I said, I made 20 little link sausages to go with it. So with 2 sausages and 2 or 3 of these, depending on your appetite, I think 2 is just plenty. And you know, a little bit of whole grain toast or some low carb toast, or even a low carb English muffin, you've got a hearty breakfast. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed this, and that you will hit that like button for me. Let me know if you've tried these and what variations you've tried. The possibilities are endless, so go ahead and experiment and let me know when you do and what you use. Okay guys, as always, we are sending love from New Jersey. This is a 10 out of 10 recipe for me and my family. We all love them. Have a great night, everybody. Bye.